Yeah. I'm feeling them vibes. I So Boom the podcast, episode number 49. Jay Yannick is in the building. The man to the square box to the left of me, Snoopy.
Snoopy.
In his background, he don't even know.
White man in the building.
And the man to the square box at the bottom of him, his name is.
Hey, Trav, you nerds.
And the man to the, I guess, sneaking here.
Yeah.
Where the hell?
Yo,
He has like two jobs: his actual job and being here on time, and he can't do that.
come on, Sneak, man. I guess he's on a flight somewhere back to New York City. But you know what?
What's up?
I think I got a good replacement right now.
Better than Sneak?
I think this guy's got Sneak beat by 1,000.
Oh shit!
Oh,
No disrespect at all to my brother Sneak, but I got a special guest right now, and when I'm about to bring him in, and I just need everybody to give a big round of applause for the man, the myth, the legend, the YouTube king, the raffle god, Franalations, everybody. Franalations.
Hey,
Franalations in the building.
Let's go.
All right. What's up, Fran? Welcome to I So Boom the podcast. I'm Jay Yannick. You see Tone. You know Tone. There's Trav. You miss a Sneak, but hey, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm excited, man. It's gonna be fun.
Nice. So we're here today to talk sneakers, everything that's going on. This is a crazy week. A lot of technology dropped. And everything Franalations. I see a lot of stuff behind you. I've been hearing a lot of things about you.
Yeah.
And I know you for some old school stuff,
Right.
but there's some new school stuff that I have no clue about. I follow you on Instagram now, so now I'm tuned in.
Okay.
I'm hearing things about Bitcoin.
Right.
I'm hearing things about the Pokemon bat,
Yeah.
or
yeah.
back.
or it never left.
I mean, for me, it never left, but right now it's hot. It's really hot.
Oh man,
You see the shirt?
Right. I already found out before we started filming. That shit's fire. So.
So I'm ready for all that sauce. I'm here to be schooled, Fran. I'm here to be schooled.
Sounds good. I'm
All
down.
right, bet. So the first thing I want to get into is just early on. I hear you started YouTube in like 2006. Is that correct?
I think it was 2008.
Okay.
Trickstar SB Dunks. Those were like the first release. Brooklyn Projects had them, I think, a month or two early. And that was like the first YouTube video I put out. It was those, the Core Hard Dunks. It was like a pack. There was like 4 shoes all together. And that was like the first SB video I did. But I had already been doing YouTube like skits with friends for a couple of years before that. But yeah.
Okay, so this is a question I always ask my guests, because I always want to know, what's that moment, what's that thing that got you into the game? You know, like that's like, okay, I've been a collector, but what got you into that?
So specifically with the videos, I mean, like I said, I was watching YouTube pretty heavy already at that point, but I had found through the shoegame.com, they were posting Sneak Geeks' Jordan reviews. So back then he was like the first one to do sneaker reviews and stuff like this. And I messaged him and I asked him for permission to do SBs. I didn't want to copy it too much or anything like this. There was no response at all. So I just ended up doing it at first. At first is like 1 video a month, but there's demand for more. So then it was 1 video a week. And then at one point, I think I was putting out like 7 videos a day.
Oh, wow. That worked.
Just constantly just at it. And then over the years, I actually, got a relationship going with Sneak Geeks, and we actually did some early sneaker events together, meeting up at different sneaker spots, and, kids would come out, we'd raffle off sneakers and stuff like this. So it was a lot of fun. And this was way before, shoe celebrities were a thing or sneaker YouTubers were a thing or anything like this. So, definitely kind of figuring it out as we went and kind of calling each other to, come up with concepts and ideas and stuff like this, because there was no one else at that time doing it. So we just kind of started from scratch. So
Nice. Yeah. And you hear that, kids? You hear that, ladies and gentlemen? 6 videos a day?
Like 7 videos a day is when it was like at its peak. Yeah, Jeff.
It sounds like some Kanye stats. You remember, he's like, I was making 5 beats a day for 3 summers.
Yeah, I literally started like around noon, and I'd be going till midnight, and I was just putting out content. Yeah,
Nice.
And so you've been a raffle god too, because you was doing raffles back then.
Yeah, they're a little bit different back then.
Okay.
I wasn't expecting, even like I said, with the demand of the videos, it picked up pretty steadily. It's the same thing with these raffles. Like, I was raffling Pokemon boxes like a month ago, and it was going pretty well, but once I started with the PlayStation, this thing's been exploding.
I jumped on the last one last night.
I appreciate the support, man. Sorry to work out, but I appreciate the support.
Nice.
Going quick, like I would refresh the post, and you see the slots is bing, 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 bing. I think how fast did it fill up?
Yeah, I would previously update like how many slots are left. I can't even do that now because there's still so many DMs. I just already know like it's gonna sell out. So let me just get to them one at a time and
right.
be gone. So that's what it's been like. It's
wow.
crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
The PS5 mania is really crazy right now.
Yeah.
So SBs have always been your thing? Is that like, because for me, I'd say I grew up on Jordans. Like, what's your shoe?
Yeah, so I mean, before SBs, I had Jordans first, but at that time it was like, I needed a red pair of sneakers to go with my red shirt and so on, so I probably had like 15 sneakers, some Jordans, some Dunks, some Air Force Ones. But in high school, I saw people trading pink box SBs. And I'd see the Nike SB on it, so I went online, did research, and the first one that really caught my eye was the De La Soul Dunk Highs. And that's what really started the collection. Once I got that, I had to get it off of some like site in Europe, and it was like $250. And once I got that shoe, that's when the sneaker obsession really started, I would say.
Yeah.
Would you say it's been harder for you with your shoe size? You're like a 6.5?
Yeah, especially back then, it was very hard. Now, they've started upgrading like the quality even of the grade school Jordans over the past 8 to 10 years or so. And now I definitely say there's a bit higher production numbers and stuff like that for my size. But yeah, at one point it was definitely really hard. As of late, I don't know what it is. Every sneaker I've tried on sneakers app, I just hit. So it's been easy.
I peeped that.
But in general, yeah, it's a little bit more difficult, I would say, especially like the men's size 7. That's usually a hard size to track down. So. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And after SB, take me on this journey. Let's journey ever since then to now. So after SB, I'm hearing you were the Bape King?
Yeah, even before SB, I was on forums and stuff. Bape Talk 2, shout out.
Hey, I don't want to cut you off, but Tone has been begging to talk to you about this for weeks. Tone, give it to him.
Yeah, I don't even remember. I was on Bape Talk 2, and I think you had just joined around the same time, and you was doing free proxies for hundreds because there wasn't.
That definitely sounds like something I was doing back then. Yeah. Even Supreme, like the Kermit like Supreme toy, I literally go every day. It didn't sell out for like weeks. I would go, I'd keep buying it, and I think I was making like $10 off each one or something like that.
Wow.
Hundreds wasn't selling online at the time, so like any new drops, you was like, hey, I'm doing free proxy, anybody want? And I hit you up a couple of times, and you blessed me. But I'm actually friends with Jordan, Vivian.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, now that I think about it, I did see, you guys following each other and stuff like that. That's what's up.
Yeah. Trevin, Paul. I think Paul just got married.
Yeah, I think so, but yeah. That's what's up, man. That's crazy.
He's been wanting to thank you ever since that day. I'm so glad he has the moment to tell you right now.
The wild shit, every time he came to New York, I couldn't get off of work, so all of them would meet up with him. And then you used to stay in this, I think you stayed in the city a couple of times.
I used to go like every year, honestly, a couple times a year. But yeah, I haven't been back in a while. I think the last time I was out there was like 2018 or something like that. It's definitely been a minute.
So I was younger when this Bape Talk 2 was going on, but I definitely used to help him take photos for his battle fits on Bape Talk.
That was a fun time, man. That was an era right there.
Yeah. I remember when you posted that picture on Bape Talk. I think it was Bape Talk 2. If you in the jacuzzi with all your Bape shit.
Yeah, I did a video of that, and actually another like picture that I'm still to this day pretty proud of. When they were building the Bape store in LA,
Yeah, you snuck in, right?
there was like a gate, and it was like a tied shut or whatever. But I'm like super thin. I just kind of went through it. I was in like the build out early. Took
Yeah, I
a
remember
little
that.
picture with the hundreds hat over my face. You know,
Yeah.
it was dope. But yeah, like I said, that was a really fun era. This was like way before any type of hype that it is now for some
Yeah.
sneakers. This was like true passion. Everyone in it, that's true passion right there.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
definitely a different era.
Yeah, you were
Yeah.
doing it because you genuinely loved the brand, not because it was what was in.
Yeah, most definitely.
Look at this full circle moment, man. This brings joy to my heart to see this full circle moment.
Yeah.
So that was before the SB, right? The Bape.
Yeah, a couple years before, and actually, when I first started doing the videos, one of the main ways that it was getting views is the mods would make a thread that was like sticky for my videos. So whenever I had a new video, you know, that's already that whole community that was viewing it right off the bat. That was one of many ways that I was able to get views early on. Another thing is, low-key, I was just spamming the link. I'd be in the comments anywhere just posting it wherever I could, and you know that would get a view or two. And that's basically, I spent all day. Like I said, I was doing it from noon to midnight. Part of it was filming, part of it was editing, and another part was just getting the link wherever I could. So
the from what I've seen, the video that's gone most viral for you is the one that where you're like, all right, let's get to the on body look.
yeah, that was crazy because that was just a regular review. It didn't you know do too crazy numbers. I think I had like 10,000 views or something like that on it. And then I think it was like a year or two later, someone started sending me like the vines of it, and then there's more and more vines of people you know ripping me in the comments over it and stuff like this. And they were so interested in it that somehow they find the link to the actual video.
Wow.
And then also he changed his name from this. Is it Rich Brian now? I forget what.
The guy that was rapping.
Yeah, his original name, and they changed his name, but he shouted out on a what's it called, sneaker shopping, and after that it really blew up like crazy.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
Exploded for like 3 months. Just the views were coming in. So yeah, it's crazy. It's had a life of its own many times over. Yeah.
That's what's yo. I admire this guy, man. The work ethic of, you know, he said 7 times a day filming a video, and then he's traveling throughout the internets back then and posting it everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, puts in work, man. I like this.
Another big step early on, which I didn't know at the time. Like I look back at all these moments and realize, oh, okay, this helped me in many ways. Is like it wasn't just online. I got some money together and I flew out to Atlanta. The shoe game was having an event, and you know Greg Street was there, Mayor was there, Clark Kent, a whole bunch of people who I still know to this day, and you know just really getting out there and networking and meeting people online and in person really played a part in you know.
Yeah. Networking is a big key.
Yeah, most definitely.
Most definitely. All right. Oh, quick question. Didn't ask this. Just thought about it. Where'd you get the name from? Franalations.
Yeah. In high school, there's just this one guy who'd always come into the classroom late, and he'd walk in and he said, "Pimpalations has arrived." And like years later, he would reach out to me, like on Facebook. He's like, "Yo, that's so dope! Everything you do with the shoes." And I told him that like I got the name from him, and he didn't remember like this interaction at all.
Oh man.
But yeah, just someone in high school.
You know, it's funny because it's become its own thing, but the LA connection, I know you've done that symbol. So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool too.
That definitely wasn't planned. And another thing with the name is like on certain websites and stuff, I can't use it. I can't use Franalations because it technically has anal in it, so it'll get.
Oh wow.
So like I can't even use Franalations on PlayStation. So my PlayStation is Alations 23 instead of Franalations because it's instantly flagged. Like I can't use it.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, the things you would never guess when you have a name.
I'm not gonna be able to unsee it every time I see it.
Word. I was like, oh man. So after let's continue on this journey. After the SBs, where are we going? What's next?
In 2014, I sold off a large chunk of my collection. Actually, a kind of small chunk at that time. It was about 20 of my rarest shoes, and it was only between two buyers. One of which cashed out like 40,000 for like 15 pairs of shoes.
Man.
And now, had I held on to those, it's probably more like 400,000. I'm gonna be honest. Low key.
Do you remember some of the things you let go?
Yeah. Two pairs of Black Easy 2s, the Soul Collector like penny crate, some LeBron like championship packs, just craziness. Actually, there's a video on my YouTube and it shows like 100 of my rarest shoes on the table. It's a big chunk of what was on that table. I literally looked at that table and I saw the value, and that's not why I got into sneakers. Like people were commenting like, "Oh, flex." So that was a big reason for me wanting to sell it off, is because I didn't like the way that it was going already at that point, and now it's very obvious. It's transitioned to that. So that was a big portion of my idea of wanting to sell it off. And at that time, I'm gonna just transition into the next thing, the cards, which I had sold there, and I was watching videos wanting to get back into Magic the Gathering and just different card games to, just kind of keep my interest or whatever. And the boxes of some of those Magic cards at that time were going for like 30, 40,000. And I was looking at Pokemon, and Pokemon to me was a bigger name than Magic, clearly. Equal, if not bigger than Nike in many ways. Everyone knows who Pikachu is. It could be a mom, it could be a kid, it could be whoever. And so I saw those boxes at that time being undervalued. I was buying first edition boxes in 2014 for $300.
Jeez.
Those same boxes.
Back then, that was crazy.
Yeah, those same boxes now sell for $30,000, and it's been 6 years later.
And all right, I'm ready. You get me excited, Fran. So you didn't open those boxes when you bought them back then?
I didn't open them. So around that same time, I actually found under one of my like sinks, I had saved the original Pokemon box, not first edition. I had saved it from childhood. And the reason why I did that, one, I had already opened up a whole bunch of them, so I was like, okay, I've already had my fill of this. But as a kid, I remember my dad would tell me stories about his Star Wars toys that he wished that he would have opened or not opened because they're worth so much money. And so as a kid, I had that in my head that, if there is something that's super popular or whatever, it's worth saving and keeping sealed, and who knows what will come from it.
Wow.
And so I did do that. And again, this is the trend with almost everything. I let go of it a little bit too early. I sold that box to Sean Wotherspoon in December of last year for $4,200, which was about market at that time. That same box is sold for $70,000 and $100,000 11 months later.
Oh,
I just found this out about a week ago. It was so soul-crushingly devastated.
Did you tell Sean he got the come up on you?
So here's the thing. I've been updating him throughout the year because it's been exploding all year. I was like, 16,000 now. 30,000 now.
Wait, he bought it from you and didn't open it?
He opened it. I suggested, so he'd been wanting it for years. And I told him, I finally sold to him, I was like, I'm only selling it because it's you. Just so you know, I would be holding on to this. I said within the next 3 to 5 years, it'll be worth 20,000. I was right about the value. I was not right about the amount of time. It was much
quicker
than I anticipated. And I told him, what you should do, if you want it, you should buy it from me, keep it in your collection, and I'll help you find packs. Just open up a couple packs. He's like, no, I want to do the whole box.
Shit.
Oh, man.
And I was like, you know what? I can't tell him. He's the one buying it from me. I can't tell him. So he ended up opening it in April. He did a live stream. It was a lot of fun. I watched it. And at that time, I was so happy. I could see the happiness on his face from opening it. And then not just that, usually if I were to sell something like that, I would never know what was inside the box. I at least got to experience it with him by watching the live stream. So, it was a cool experience, but I don't know if the experience was worth $100,000.
Was there anything good inside the box after all these years?
Yeah, so the Charizard was not in there.
Okay.
However, the next best card is Blastoise, and he got 3 Blastoise in one box, which I've never seen anything like that before.
How much is that going for?
So the last I checked was a few weeks ago, so already by now it's going to be a way different value. But Mint 10, they were going for 4,800 each, and he paid 4,200 for the box.
Oh, okay. So he tripled his money.
He could have had he at the time. I told him sleeve them up, keep them protected. He didn't do that. He just put them right back in the box.
Wow.
One little tiny ding on the corner. That's all it takes, and it's now either a 9. It's no longer a pristine 10. A month or so ago, I picked up the cards from him, and I helped him submit them to get them graded. They came back. I think one of them got a 9. There was an 8.5 and an 8 as far as those Blastoise go. And there's a huge price discrepancy between the mint 10s and the 9s. It's a huge gap. Because at that point, you're dealing with a completely different collector's item. It might be the same card, but it's not in the same echelon at all. It's two completely different things.
What's the drop off from 10 to 9 per se?
I think his 9 at that time was like 1,200 or something like that, which again, that's probably gone up since then, but you could already see between 4,800 and 1,200. There's a big jump there.
So does nobody want an 8?
I mean, okay, so there's definitely a market for 8s and 9s. And, as time goes on, those prices are going to grow. And once people get priced out of the 10s, they're going to want the 9s. Priced out of the 9s, they're going to want the 8s and so on.
Got you.
But the 7s and lower, that's where you kind of get into, you might as well just leave it raw because, with everything going on with COVID, it's kind of more expensive now to get them graded, and it takes longer than it used to. So
okay.
Like, is it worth that investment of getting them graded at a certain point? So
Right.
And is it Beckett that gets it graded, or is that for sports only?
Beckett is mainly with sports cards,
okay.
As well as Magic the Gathering, actually. But for whatever the reason, I don't know exactly why it's this, but PSA definitely seems to be the majority of the market of Pokemon, except if you get a black label pristine Beckett 10. That's like the highest thing. There's absolutely no flaws, perfectly centered.
Yeah.
It doesn't get better than that.
Yeah.
And that's the one exception where people want like that Beckett 10 Pokemon card, basically.
Do you have any 10s in your collection?
I have a few 10s, but it's mainly the recent stuff, the stuff that's been coming out this year that I've graded. I actually submitted I didn't used to submit any of my stuff, so I actually submitted a bunch of my original like first edition jungles and stuff like this. I got like 7s and 6.5s and 4s. It's my first time doing it. I didn't know what I was looking for. I was expecting 10s. I was like, oh, these are good.
We're good to go.
But nah, they're all scratched up. And at least then I had something to compare it to and kind of understand what to be looking for in the future. So it was a learning experience. And at the end of the day, my cards, I can at least pretty much guarantee, unless the glass breaks in those cases, that they're not going to get any more damage than they are now. And they're childhood memories. So I'm so happy with it. So
That's good.
Yeah. You know what? I want to go back. I want to give a shout out to your pops for instilling that in you early. If
Real
something good. What was the quote? What was the quote?
I don't remember the exact quote, but
okay.
It was the idea of his Star Wars. So when I was 5 for Christmas, my parents got me the Star Wars trilogy, and that was the first thing that I really like. I'm all in. Like, this is awesome. Oh, who's that in the background? What's that alien over there? And like, it just was the first thing I really got all into. And he showed me some of his toys. Like, he had like Empire Strikes Back like gun and some action figures and stuff. And he was telling me like, I messed up by opening these things. They're worth so much more now. And that's where I got that concept at a very young age. It was like, of collecting, just keeping it in mint condition, keeping it, new, dead stock, and just, admiring it as basically an art piece. That's it. That's how I've always been since I was very young, actually. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
My future son will be good, Tone. He'll be good. I'm gonna let him know. It's like Franalations Pops told me this. All right, let's dive back into the cards. So the old cards that you get. Okay, so I'm listening to you talk, and you're telling me about how sometimes you have to get it graded, sometimes not, sometimes don't open the box, sometimes do. So you have the eye. What does it take to see okay, this is the one to get graded? What is that? Take me there.
I don't know how I know.
Okay.
But I have some examples here to show you stuff that has worked either in the long term or more recently in the very short term. in 2014, when I first got back into the card game, I realized that any set with Charizard, even though it wasn't by a lot, was worth more money. Charizard was the defining factor in 2014 that made me realize, okay, that's how you know what's gonna, pop off next. So this was a current set at that time. I got it for retail, $80, flash fire. It was out of print a year later, and now these boxes go for about $2,000 to $2,800, and it's been about 5 years.
And it was $80.
$80. I should have bought more, but here's the one. More recently, I was noticing, kind of similar to the Pokemon thing, that, in my opinion, Yu-Gi-Oh is undervalued.
I was just
so about a month ago. Not only did I jump in, I even posted it. I think the post got like 200 likes. No one knew what the hell I was talking about. But I got some of the original boxes. I still have the third set from when I was a kid, but I got the original box. It's not first edition, but it's the second printing of the original box. I paid $2,000 3 weeks ago, and it is recently sold for $7,000. Wow. And that's a difference of 3 weeks. And in the past week, Gary Vaynerchuk had actually recently tweeted out like Yu-Gi-Oh's up next. Basically.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah, you posted that.
Yeah. So again, I don't know how I know these things in advance, but I tend to know, and I feel like my track record so far has been really good. It just I've sold myself short in most cases, not realizing how far I can go. So now I think I'm more willing to hold out a little bit longer on some of these things. After learning the past 10 years of like what's happened and whatnot. So, yeah.
Fran, can you do me a favor?
What's
can you hit my line when there's a box? I just I just want to buy a box. I'll sit on it. You let me know what to do with it.
Yeah. Hit that's what my Discord is for. That's what my OnlyFans page is for. I put that information out there.
Oh, okay. Okay. Do it, Fran.
We got to talk about the OnlyFans.
Give it to me.
Yeah. Exactly.
Only friends.
Exactly. And even like my best friends, like I'll tell them and they'll see it and they're like, "Yeah, I'm not sure." And then I'll show them the updates. Like, "Fuck, I should listen." All right, now what do I do? And some of them wait, like I was letting them know then, and now you missed the boat, and that's just what it is. But I don't keep the information myself. I'm gonna be honest. I put it out there so other people can see too. And again, I don't know how I come to these conclusions, but they tend to be right. Intuition.
You know what it is? Because you're part of the culture. You're just not somebody like pit stopping. Like you live it, so you can see it.
Yeah, most definitely. And even how you're saying before about like the hundreds and doing the free proxies, it's pretty much the same. I've been doing the same thing in different ways for a very long time. That's just who I am. So I don't know. I enjoy it. I don't know what else to say. Like,
so tell us about your OnlyFans. You're obviously not showing cheeks on there. So what's?
So that was a lot of like the comments or the backlash, and that's another thing too is people don't want to be the first thing to anything, and also people are so quick to judge something. With the OnlyFans, so much negative comments. Even with the raffles, they're like, "What are you doing? You're ripping people off," and those same people. 3 days later, after seeing people hit, they're like, "All right, let me get one." Like, for whatever the reason, so people are so quick to be negative about stuff, and it doesn't even have to be that. Like, I don't know, I don't know what it is, but people are very, they don't want to try new things, and they're kicking and screaming until everyone else is doing, and then they follow suit, rather than being there early for whatever the reason. That's just apparently human instinct or whatever. I don't know what it is, but it's never stopped me from being, whatever I'm into. Example, Pokemon in 2014 when it was weird or looked down upon, or even when I did my Bespokes in 2010 that were Pikachu and people were confused. Like, what are you doing this for? Like, I don't know. I don't have that same like fear that it seems like other people have. Like, I guess social fear or like worry of what other people think or it doesn't bother me what someone else thinks about me. It doesn't concern me at all. So. Yeah.
It's kind of like that thing of I have to see you go before I go.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
So doing some research for this episode, I noticed we're born the same year, so we're both. But I'll say like watching you while in this social media, the confidence you have in what you're into has also helped me because I still love Pokemon, I still love playing video games, but my age doesn't factor into that. Like I don't think it ever will. So we like to give people their flowers here on this podcast. So definitely give you your flowers for being the pioneer and just you like what you like, fuck what people think. So thank you for that,
Yeah, I appreciate that. And, I think a lot of those types of stereotypes change in time. I feel like, especially the generation right before us, it's just, there's a certain that you stop playing games, you stop doing this. But, now there's plenty of people 20, 30 years old, even 40 years old, and they're not just playing games, they're influencers in gaming and stuff like that. So I think with the next generation after this whole concept of like gaming is, for this certain age group and that's it, I think that's already fading, and it'll be like totally gone within the next 10 to 20 years.
Yeah.
It just takes certain paradigm shifts to where things are just completely different. So
yeah, and I bet OnlyFans didn't flag that name.
Definitely did not. There's some wild content on there for sure. Mine's a little bit more tame.
Okay. So man, you kind of answered it already, but I called you the Bape King, I called you the Wrathful God, but you got the foresight, man. After this interview, after this podcast, I'm just gonna call you the foresight guy. Like on these things of just knowing, like, oh, you know what, that might be it. Let's do that.
Yeah, after the podcast, maybe check Bitcoin's price, and if it's down.
Let's go there, Fran. Let's do it. Now I'm ready to. I'm paying for OnlyFans. I'm paying for everything right now. Let's go. Tell me about the Bitcoin. I've heard about it. Brooklyn. I don't know if you know about Brooklyn, but they do a little, and when they out here. So I heard that way. Teach me the real way. Teach me
the legal way.
The legal way. Teach me that way.
We were already talking about full circle moments earlier, and it goes back to the same thing. Sneak Geeks, man. In 2013, he stopped doing shoe videos, and he posted a video that everyone thought was so weird and strange. He was in a dark room. You could hear fans going off. He was mining Bitcoin in 2013.
Wow.
And I remember looking into it, and even Philip DeFranco was talking about it around that time. And, there was so much shadiness, and it was worth, I think maybe at one point around then, about $100. I was like, okay, a pair of Jordans. I was like, I know the Jordans go up, but what's going to happen with this? Is it too late? I remember thinking then, is it too late? Is this as high? At 100, that's what it always feels like when you're looking at it. Yeah. It always feels like this is as high as it goes, without zooming out the perspective of seeing, what it is in the future. And so it wasn't until 2017 when I saw it at 1,400. I was like, really? This was around summer. I was in Amsterdam talking with some friends, and it was 1,400. And then the year went on, and then I think towards the end of the year it was like 4,000 or something like this. And I was like, wait, what? And at this point, I finally made that count. I made the count, and I was looking, but I was like, I'm gonna try to catch it when it's lower. That's the same thing that I'm finding my friends ask me now. I was like, I'm waiting till it's lower. That's the same thing I said back then.
Yeah.
Next thing I know, it was like $13,000. I was like, okay, honestly, I'm gonna catch it this next time. I didn't end up buying in until when everyone else bought in at the top. I bought in at 19,000, and there's no money to be made at that point.
Right.
Even now, that portion that I bought, I think the first time I bought in, it was for $200. That $200 value is worth way less than $200 now because the time period where I bought it at. However, having kept up with it after and finding out more about it and seeing that crash and looking back and studying the chart, that's the amazing thing about Bitcoin is all the information is there in the charts. Mm-hmm. With sneakers, you might look at a sneaker and you're like, why did it drop? Like what happened here? Like what happened to that value? But there's the whole time frame. You can see the patterns. It's all there. All the information is there if you just look for it. And so, this information is out there, but I also saw it from the charts. Every 4 years, it does the same thing. It's on a 4-year cycle. There's a 1 year of it going down and 3 years of it kind of slowly just staying in the middle. And then that last year, the climb starts off kind of at a slower pace. I think that's where we're in right now. Mm-hmm. But by 2021, I'm expecting an explosion, very similar to the 19,000, only the pattern has always been 10 to 13 X's every 4 years.
How much have you invested so far?
Wait, say that again?
So 10 to 13X every 4 years. If you look at the charts, it went from a couple cents to I think it was like $12. And then a few years later, $12 to like $220. And then $220, it crashed again. It always has that same crash. And people are like, oh, it's over, it's done. It crashed, and then it goes up, and it went from 220 to like 1,700 or something like that. And then it crashed again, and that 1,700 went to the 19,000 that we all know about.
Oh, so you're projecting is going to go to hundreds?
Yeah. So usually the 10x is usually overshot. It goes higher rather than lower with the 10x all the previous times. That doesn't mean it's going to happen this time.
Right.
But I'm using the evidence that's there and, making my assumptions and going forward with that. And then, there's still 4 more years after that to look forward to. So who knows if that same pattern will keep going or not. But that's what every day I check it. I spend most of my time looking into information about Bitcoin and studying it as much as I can because, if all these other things are hobbies and like niche audiences, we're talking about digital money here. This, when music went digital, it changed everything. When video went digital, it changed everything. And we're talking about that, but with money. So I think this might be the most important thing that has happened technologically in like a very long time. I don't know, but I'm putting my time into it as if it is just in case. So yeah.
Gotcha. I feel you because with the card and digital, from privacy to Zelle to Cash App to, I feel you.
We're already going that route.
And PayPal just made the leap too, right? They start.
That's just one of the big dominoes that fall. That's what it takes is like, there was an interview, I don't know, some late night talk show, and they were talking to Bill Gates in like the 90s, and they were talking about email and the internet, and they were joking about it. Like, it seemed so foreign and so confusing. They didn't quite understand it. What's the point of it? And then, they're like, someone broadcasted a audio of like an MLB like game or something like that. He's like, I could just listen to the radio, and then everyone's laughing in the audience. Yeah. People don't understand the value until all the systems are there. All the systems aren't there yet. PayPal is one great example. It's just one more system needed in order to get, to, the outcome where I see it going. So people don't understand it, and they can't even comprehend what the systems are that are going to make it work the way it needs to because they haven't been implemented yet, but they're coming. It's going to take time. There's a lot of people working on this stuff. At this point, there's businesses that are taking either half or a large majority of their company's worth, not their investors, their company's worth, and they're putting it into Bitcoin. They're betting. Yeah. They're betting their business on it, basically. And at some point, people are going to wake up and realize once it's mass adopted, but I'm trying to get in early. That's all I can say is I'm trying to get in early.
And how much is it for, say, your average Joe? He wants to get a Bitcoin, 1 Bitcoin. Is it work like that? How much is it for?
No, you can get a piece of a Bitcoin.
Okay.
Yeah, you can get fractional, shares of it, and depending on, you should never put in more than you're willing to lose. Is definitely one key thing I want to say, but. Whatever you feel comfortable starting with. I started with 200. That's how I started, just to get an idea of it. And then it's different once you see, you might see the chart, but if you have no tie to it, it's different when you see your money and you're like, oh, dang, it's going down a little bit. Or, oh, dang, my 200's worth 300 now. That's pretty good. And just seeing that progression, it kind of, I think you have to experience it with your own money in order to realize its value and what it's doing there and the potential.
Do you think the return is better than, I don't know, sneakers? Because even sneakers nowadays are kind of crazy as far as return.
Yeah, I mean, it depends, right? Different people are going to see different returns depending on what they put into it. I would definitely say there's higher potential. I think this has the highest potential of like I was saying before, like anything else. I can't think of another thing that has as much potential as this. Just off top, nothing else comes to mind. But I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. Wow. You open up an account today, Jay?
Yeah, man. Right now.
Right. Now you don't even have to open up an account, just through PayPal.
Just through PayPal, and that's it.
Yeah. There you go. You already technically you have the account.
No, okay.
PayPal at this point. So
you mentioned you sold your a good chunk of your collection once, but I know you recently did it again. Can you talk us through that?
Yeah, I've definitely been, just as far as even space, I don't even have the space for it, but my mindset definitely changed a lot with COVID this year. I'm not saying I don't like sneakers. I'm always going to like sneakers, but I don't know, like my overall point of view and thought process, and also maybe it's of 15 years of collecting sneakers, but I'm not as into sneakers as I once was. That's for sure. I still enjoy it. I still keep updated. I still see all the new releases coming. I'll still even post all the ones I see coming. I'm like, oh, those are dope.
Yeah.
But it's not the same. Yeah, it's not the same for me. So yeah. But
So
I definitely have been unloading still. But even with that, there's still can't see all of them. There's sneakers everywhere. And
Sneakers everywhere.
Yeah.
And how much in this collection? I mean, you sold a portion of your first collection, your second collection. Like, how many sneakers would you say you've had over the years?
At one point, the collection was close to 2,000, I would say.
Oh,
And it's dramatically lower, but it's still way too high, and I still need to unload.
are you over 1,000?
Yeah, I'd say it's probably around 1,200, 1,400, somewhere in that range.
Fran, I want to burn my closet.
At one point, one of the original heads from Nike SB, he actually came out, I think in 2013, 2014, something like that. And I guess 2013 probably. And he was looking at my SB wall, and he said that my wall was more complete than the SB archives at that point in time.
At Nike?
Yeah. Which isn't the case now. Like, I've sold off a lot of it, but that was definitely like, I don't know, it felt like an achievement at that point. I was like, okay, nice.
yeah, I'm done. Like, I'm good. I don't have to do
I could see why he's like, I'm over it. It was like, come on, man.
Yeah.
You beat the game 5 times.
Yeah,
Already.
Exactly. So, but yeah, that was definitely a cool experience. And around that time, they actually flew me out to the Nike campus. I did a little vlog of it too, and got to see a lot of the original creators, which it was great timing because it seemed like right after that, a lot of that original team just kind of separated and went off in either different departments or did their own thing. And so that was really cool getting to spend that weekend and just pick their brain about why did that sample change to this and what happened with that release date, and it was a really, really cool experience, and definitely something that I'll never forget for sure. So yeah.
What's up?
Yeah, that's really dope. That's really, really dope. Yeah, I gotta get my life together.
So I guess taking a little back, I remember maybe 2 to 3 years ago, you were heavily promoting. I even see the tattoo Sandal Boys.
Yeah.
What was that process like?
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So as it was going on, definitely a moment in time I'm very proud of.
You're not seeing
He's
it.
trying to wave.
We got to work with a lot of brands that
Like Stable?
Yep. Bro, that was so the first time I ever met Jeff Staple, it was at Kid Robot. I had him sign my shoes. He was there for a release, and he had said that he'd seen the sneaker videos, and he asked me why I ever started doing it. And I was like, I want to one day get an SB collab just like you. Like, that's the goal. And although the SB collab never happened, it was so dope for one of our first collabs to be with Jeff Staple and recreate that classic, and even have like a friends and family variant of it. And it was a really another period in time I'm always going to remember. But for what it is, it didn't work out, and I separated from the rest of the group, and it just didn't work out. But at the end of the day, like I said, I'm very proud of what we accomplished in that time, and I guess we're still doing some pretty cool stuff now, and shout outs to them or whatever. But
hey, it was definitely a wave when you were there. I must say, that's when I was aware, and I said, "Oh, okay, that's what they're working with." Bet.
Do you know how many units y'all sold when you was with them?
Yeah, I have an idea. I don't remember the exact number, and I even have an idea of like what the total sales were at this time. And again, the support, and I'm seeing it now again with these raffles. A lot of the times I'll get messages of people saying they're just supporting because they want to, they fuck with the past 10 years of everything I've done, and they want to support me. That in a lot of cases, I don't really wear sandals like that, but I wanted to support. Or in this case, I don't think I'm gonna win the raffle, but I wanted to support. So
That's the only reason why I cop them.
You know, I appreciate everyone who's ever tuned in or anything over the years, because, you know, when I don't have something out there that I'm putting out, you know, for purchase as an example, it's very easy to kind of forget or not realize that there's people that are that tuned in, and it's crazy to see. You know, I've been a lot of places around the world, and people will come up to me, be in Japan, in a coffee shop in Indonesia, or like Spain, and people come up to me and they know who I am. And, you know, compared to a lot of the current, you know, sneaker YouTubers and stuff, my following is very small, and my content, you know, was thriving, I'd say 10 years ago, a decade ago at this time, my YouTube content specifically.
Mm-hmm.
So it's crazy to see the impact that it's had, and people are like, you know, I grew up watching your stuff. I was 13, and, you know, now I'm, you know, married or whatever it may be. You know, it's crazy. So yeah, another experience that, you know, has been insane to go through, I'd say. So yeah,
so it's a lot of experiences, and there's still a lot more to go.
A lot more to go. You know, you only live once, so definitely try to, you know, experience as much as you can. And yeah, unfortunately, I feel like I've definitely experienced a lot. So yeah.
And since you've started YouTube and you were the man over a decade ago, like, name some YouTubers. Are there any YouTubers out there that you watch now that you think is like doing it the right way?
Yeah, definitely. Kais is the first person who comes to mind. I first found out about his videos maybe like 4 years ago or something like this, and, you know, reached out to him. Super cool guy. And again, it's one of those things where I would see like the negativity and stuff, and like I didn't get it. Like, he clearly loves what he's doing. He's putting out content constantly with the skits, doing all this, that, giveaways, all this stuff. So he's really dope. Tony D2 Wild. Who else? There's so many people. I would watch a lot of Former Simpson. I haven't watched him in a minute. T Blake is another one who, even now, he's on with the cards and stuff like this.
Oh,
he's
yeah.
He's been killing it with the subscription, like Discord and stuff like this. So there's so many people, man, that I've met over the years that are still doing it, or we're doing it for a period of time. And yeah, it's all up to every single one of them. And
so I remember there was a time where you were pushing your own shoe. I'm actually going to pull it up here on the screen.
Yep.
So what was the name of this brand again?
Ight. It's an Italian footwear company. I met the owner through a mutual friend. We were just like hanging out and exchange contacts and stuff. And we were talking about doing that sneaker for a while. But with all the buzz that was going on with Sound Boys at that time, that's when he finally reached out. And, you know, I guess it made more sense in his mind at that time, because I was doing footwear at that time. So either way, it came to fruition. There's 2 colorways. That's my favorite of the 2. The black was a little bit too simple for me. I like more wild stuff. And yeah, super awesome experience. Getting to finally release a sneaker, and the fact that, you know, I'm Italian too. It was an Italian sneaker company. I had a lot of pride in that.
Did they go out to Italy, to the factories or anything like that?
No, he kept on saying that, you know, I needed to get out there and stuff like that. That never actually happened. And, you know, we've talked again about doing more stuff. So maybe after this whole COVID stuff, maybe I can actually get out there and get something cooking again with them.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
I
like the sole on that, by the way.
Huh? Was that?
Oh, I said I like the sole on that.
Oh yeah, the sole on that one was crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I went with that model because it reminded me of like a futuristic Jordan 3, and Jordan 3.
Okay. Yeah.
Jordan 3 88. I was born in 88, and, you know, just that whole connection there. So
okay.
Nice. And to keep on sneakers, let's a lot of people don't know this, but I knew this a while back. You helped Sean Weatherspoon on the Air Max?
Yeah. He had hit me up. This was around Valentine's Day. I guess was it 2016, 2017, something like that. And he said Nike wanted him to do a sneaker for Air Max Day, and could I help? And in my mind, I didn't know what it was yet, but Nike had hit me up in 2013 for the first Air Max Day and gifted me these things, which I never actually wore. Sorry, it's like super dusty. I kind of wiped it off a little bit. These were the first
yeah, in the bubble, yeah.
And then the following year, they hit me up and they had me do a Nike ID for Air Max Day, and they it was complimentary, and I just posted and shared and everything like that. And so that's what I thought it was. I thought he was doing a Nike ID. I had no clue what I was going there for. I had no idea at all. And I get there, and it's like Ben Baller and ASAP Naz and a whole bunch of other people in the room. Skate the Great, a whole bunch of amazing people in the room. And there's cameras set up, and he said, all right, he talked to us. He said Nike wanted us to do an Air Max. There are certain models, maybe 5 different models you can pick from, and then even the idea of like mixing the midsoles and stuff, they were saying you could do that. And so he knew he wanted to do a 97, and he knew he wanted to do it corduroy, and he just kind of brainstormed with us what colors to start using and stuff. People were throwing out colors, and they had it like a Nike sketch guy sketching it like on an iPad, drawing it out, showing what it would look like and stuff like this.
Wow.
And then I remember saying we should put the Air Max 1 midsole on it, and Ben Baller and a whole bunch of people started laughing, and we kept talking or whatever, but the guy was sketching it. And when he sketched it, they showed it, and everyone's like, yeah, let's go with that. So if anything, that was my one addition to the shoe is picking the midsole on it.
It's my favorite part, Fran. That's my favorite part.
Me too. I never owned any Air Max 97s before that shoe. I don't know what it was. I never really felt them. I wasn't feeling them like that. But after being a part of that shoe, I went back and some of the classics, the Silver Bullets and stuff like this, I had to go ahead and pick up. But I think it was that midsole that was really throwing me off originally. But with that one, man, it looks so good.
That's it.
So good.
The Foresight God again strikes again.
So that was a crazy experience. And even at that, again, we didn't know exactly what it was or that he was going to win, but he was able through social media, reaching out to other people. Like Little Yachty was posting it, and just all the sneaker YouTubers were posting it, and I think just that barrage of social media traffic. Because even then, social media was insane at that point in time too. I mean, obviously it still is now, but it's different. We're more used to it now. It seemed like such a new thing at that time. And so that was a insane moment. And then he ended up winning, and it ended up being that was the first Nike sneaker I at least got to have some input on that released, and such a cool thing to be a part of.
Yeah, for sure. Foresight Fran. That's it. I got it. Foresight Fran. That's it. Speaking of input, let's talk some sneakers. Fran, we're going to run through a couple sneakers that are dropping because I know everybody's listening. They want to get our opinions on what's going on. Cool. Before I start, well, let's start. The Midnight Navies Code JP's dropped yesterday. You know where I'm going, Tone.
Yeah.
I want to get Fran's opinion. Are you familiar with the new app Clubhouse?
No, I've heard about it. This is probably the third time I've heard about it, but I don't know much about it, but I've heard about it.
So basically it's like one big conference call. It's like they everyone can pick a topic, whatever topic. There's a moderator, and everybody can jump in and share their opinions on whatever the topic is. You raise your hand, they select you. Oh, ask a question, and it's like Virgil Abloh could be in the same chat as me, and I can ask him a question. So it's pretty. It's in its beta stages.
Yeah.
It's invite only right now, but I'm pretty sure later it'll be open to everyone else. But here's the thing. I decided to join a chat the other day. My good friend Noel, shout out to Noel. He was in there. Oh, shout out to Fresco from Stadium Goods. He was in there too. And someone, I won't say their names, I don't know them, but he said this to me, not to me, to the chat. But it struck a nerve. Mm-hmm. He said the sneaker that dropped today was not the hottest sneaker, which is the Midnight Navy, the Jordan 1 that dropped yesterday. He said, that sneaker, that's a hood booger shoe. Are you familiar with this term?
No.
Okay. let me dive in on this.
Right.
A hood booger is like the ghetto girl or the ghetto guy in the hood. Like
so they're the only ones that'll wear that type of shoe.
They're the only ones that'll wear that type of shoe.
About that shoe in particular or the model?
I'm confused.
He was talking. He was talking about that. He was talking about the one. So basically, he was saying
the one in general.
The one in general.
Wow.
Okay.
That's the way I took it. So he was trying to say that the Jordan 1 is now a ghetto hood shoe that only they wear now. Struck a nerve with me, got me hot. I went on a little rant on Instagram. Everybody saw, but I don't believe so. Fran, your opinion? What do you think?
No, I definitely don't think so. I don't know what it is. This is another example of what I was saying earlier. For some reason, it's like cool to like hate on certain things. Like for like, it's so random. Like even there's a game I play, World of Warcraft, and there's classic and retail, and then people like hate on one version or the other, and like I don't get the mindset of hating on anything. Like I don't understand any type of hate. Like
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's so confusing. Like obviously the shoe has such legacy to it. Obviously, otherwise they wouldn't be releasing it like multiple times every month and crazy colorways, old colorways, re-releasing it, and it's still like it's a legendary shoe, and one person's opinion is not going to change that anytime soon. So,
Thank you, Fran.
yeah.
Thank you. Franalations, everyone. Thank you. But like, what really made me strike a nerve, and I know everybody on Instagram is like, oh, Jay, why'd you go on a rant? The thing about it is, when I was in high school in 01, I just gave out my age out there, but when I was in high school in 01, that sneaker was not, I was down south. That sneaker was not in the mall. It was not accessible to me. So now in 2020, even though it was a mid then, and this came with the suitcase and everything, but I'm excited. Like, okay, I can finally get that shoe now.
Yeah.
And have it on my foot and, relive the time and memories and bring me joy.
Right.
And he just, called it
He tried to crush your dreams, huh?
He crushed my dreams. But hey, neither here nor there. Fran, let's get your opinions on a couple shoes.
Okay.
SB.
Before we get on the latest shoes, something that got a lot of hate, Fran, and I saw that you chimed in on this a little, the Warren Lotus Pigeon collab.
Ah, yes.
I saw a comment you said to someone is basically like you weren't into it, but the fact that Jeff Staple like co-signed it, you were like, I'm in. So what did you think about, what he did and all the backlash he's received since?
Yeah, so in general, whether you want to call it customs or bootlegs or whatever you want to call it, I've never been into that idea at all. I've collected Nike sneakers and Adidas sneakers and whatever other brand sneaker because it's, that legacy that they've created with their product and the stories they've told and so on. So I've never really been drawn to customs and stuff. I'll like the photo or whatever, but I'm not the type to go out and want to purchase one of those. So in general, my friends were hitting me up, DMing me like when the Stussy colorway came out and the Heineken, and I didn't care at all. These were shoes that I had the originals of years ago, let go of, and so
Would you consider that custom a fake?
Yeah, I mean to some extent, if you're you would, in order to be considered a custom, right? You would need the original model that you're altering, and this is a recreation of it. So at that point, if it's recreated and it's not the original creation, then I guess a fake or a bootleg or whatever you want to call it at that point in time. And I don't knock it. Look, a lot of people are doing it. It's selling. People like it. It is what it is. But previously, before the Staple stamp of approval, I would have had no other reason to add it to my collection if it wasn't the fact that it was another Staple piece that I was adding. And so I purchased because I wanted to add that to my collection. As we know, it's not happening. That there's the option for the refund. I actually didn't do it. Now that I already had the money up front, I just figure a lot of people are going to be refunding it, so maybe there will be less of them. And if it doesn't turn out to be worth anything, at least it's just a interesting thing in sneaker history that happened.
True.
To have it on the wall. I'll never wear it, but have on the wall or whatever. And so, I went through with the order, and yeah, it is what it is.
So you're not a customs guy. I wasn't a customs guy either for a long time. Like I don't even like Jay likes to put cream laces in his shoes, and even that for me for a long time was like, why are you doing that? Like whatever Nike sends you with the box is what you do. But I jumped out the window on the Warren thing, and I had to climb back up to the safety of the house because I got the first one, the red one. I was happy with them.
What
Only
they call
thing,
it? Jason's.
I think the host is like the Slasher series, something like that. I was kind of disappointed that he canceled them, but I was blaming Nike at one point, saying the fact that their shoes are so hard to get, we have to go to these outlets to get customs or, you know.
Yeah, that's reminding me. I forgot what the sneaker was recently. It might have been the Off-White 5. It was some sneaker, and I was like talking to my friends. I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to wake up. I'm just going to get an L. And then I saw other people like complaining, and I was like, Nike, like I put out my story, like, just make more sneakers. This is crazy, blah, blah. And I wake up the next morning and I got it. But no, I mean, they should at a certain point, like, look, there's so many people so passionate about it. If they made even 50,000 more, it wouldn't change anything. 100,000 more, it still probably wouldn't change anything. The price would still be about the same. Like, it makes no sense at this point why it's still so artificially, like, limited. And I know production numbers are higher now than they were before, but there's way more people. So the discrepancy in how many more people there is to the small percentage added, it's not comparable at all.
Yeah.
It's just not. And so, I mean, who am I to tell Nike how to run their business? They've been very, very successful, but it's just very disappointing that people wanted these items so bad, and like, the access isn't even there. And like I said earlier with COVID, earlier this year, my whole perception on a lot of this stuff has changed. At some point, it's down to the brands to make that change to, please the fans. And they're still making money. I don't get it. Like, they would make more money. Like, I don't know. It's just disappointing.
Nobody gets it.
But what?
I said nobody gets it. Everybody got the same gripe.
Yeah, so it is what it is. Will it change? I don't know, but it's definitely disappointing to see, nevertheless. So, yeah.
All right, let's get your opinion on some shoes that dropped. We'll keep it SB. We could do that. Yesterday, alongside of the Midnight Navies, the oh so beautiful Code JP and Midnight Navies, the SB Turduncan dropped. Franalations, what do you think about this shoe and the packaging?
Yeah, the packaging is cool. Although in general, first of all, Concepts always kills it with the concept and the packaging.
Yeah, I will give you that.
I've never cared about the packaging. I wear the shoes. Personally, I've never cared about the packaging. It's really dope. So I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying my personal opinion. Now, the swoosh and the tongue on these things are crazy.
Yeah.
The little I don't even know what the back panel is, where the laces tie into. It almost looks like a teddy bear, or it's like really like furry, or like, I don't know how to explain it. That panel is super. Yeah, that darker panel right there is super dope. I think overall the shoe is really cool. I have an SB, the Skate Deck Dunk Highs. It reminds me of those in a lot of ways, just like souped up to the next level.
I'd say out of all the SBs that dropped this year, this one gives me the most feeling of what it was back in the day. That's what I'd say. Yeah.
Well, you didn't feel that way about the Chunky Dunkies?
Yeah. How'd you feel about those, the Ben and Jerry's?
Those are super dope. To me, that's like this generation's.
There you go.
Diamond Dunk right there.
Yeah.
The Chunky
That's
Dunk
what I
is
said.
the same exact thing as this generation's Diamond Dunk. Tiffany Dunks were like $350, and it's like insane. And these are like $1,500. It's insane, and it's the same shoe. It's literally it's this. It's true. It's super dope. I don't own it. I don't plan on spending $1,500 or even $1,000 on a brand new dunk that came out this year. To me, most of my shoes, I wear them once or twice for the most part, and unless it's something I really like, I'm probably not going to wear it much more than that. I'll still keep it in the collection. So I don't know. I didn't end up going after them. With that said, there was one SB this year that I went for with a high, and that was the Travis Dunks in the special box.
Oh, the special box, yeah.
I got those in the special box, and I'm keeping them dead stock, and that's just something I'm holding on to in the collection. And but I was able to actually still get the regular box as well, which I wear that. I have some SBs here just in case, and so yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah.
To me, probably my favorite shoe of the year.
This one?
Yeah, this one here.
Yeah, okay.
So you plan on doing the tearaway?
No, just keep it as is, But yeah,
nice.
The laces are crazy on it and everything too. So dope shoe. Nice.
And next up, and I don't think this one is an SB, but the did you see the Cactus Plant Flea Market dunk?
Yeah, those are dope too.
Swarovski. I saw it was like 140. Is it going to be 140 for price?
I heard 500.
Oh, you heard 500. Okay.
500?
Yeah.
I think it's real Swarovski because the hoodie is supposed to be priced at 400.
This is reminding me of, I think it was on your guys' show on the episode I was listening to. What's the brand with the buckles? The
Buscemi? Not Buscemi.
No, Aleeks or.
Oh yeah.
I literally I was on the site when it released. I was looking. I saw the price. Like, no, I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Talking about the same exact thing.
Yeah.
Man, good for you. It's selling at that price, but I'm cool off that. So
I'd rather the olive green Friends and Family version.
The Friends and Family version. You like that one?
Those are way better.
Bari got a Friends and Family. Saw that earlier. Yeah. It's pretty nice.
One falls off and you're stressed.
Yeah. I don't know if 500 is a good price point for that. I mean, if it is real Swarovski crystal, I guess so. But like Trav said, stand away from 6 feet, please. 6 feet.
Someone like steps on the back of your shoes and fall off or something like that.
Oh goodness gracious!
That's when the violence happens.
So let's get into it. PS5 is officially out.
Yeah.
Everyone here has one. Franalation has 10.
It goes back to that same Foresight.
Foresight Fran, baby.
How many pre-orders you did?
I got 6 pre-orders and one at pretty much every store. I hit on every store I went to online because 3 months ago it's the same thing, and I called it. People aren't thinking about it like that. They're like, "I'll just walk into the store."
Yeah, Fran.
And I'm already like, "No, that's not going to happen. I'm getting them now because it's wrong."
There's COVID. Yeah, hello.
And so, I was right on that, and what's it called? I even said I was telling all my friends, like, this is the order it's going to happen. The price is going to be about $800, and then it'll start raising a little bit before release, and then at release it's going to start going up. And one of my friends, he got 2 pre-orders in, and he's like, I don't know, should I cancel one? I don't know if I need to. I was like, don't cancel it. I will buy it off of you. Are you sure? How do you know? I was like, look, if you want to refund it, I'll buy it. It's fine. And he's like, no, I think I'll hold on to it. And then the same exact order that I was saying the dominoes would fall, they fell. And I was telling him, people need to go to the store. They need to realize they can't get it. They won't be able to get it. And that's when the price changes. Mm-hmm. Like people are still under the assumption, like, it'll be available, and it's not. And, if my foresight's right, that's the same way Bitcoin's going to be. People are under the assumption they'll be able to just track it down later, but it'll become so scarce, so rare, so valuable. Only people with enough means will be able to acquire it at that point. So yeah, that's really. Yeah.
Do you see the price of the PS5 going any higher?
I don't about too much higher. I was calling like 1,500 to 1,800 would be probably like the peak of it. It's probably going to last most of this month. There's probably going to be restocks next month. They're going to sell out pretty quickly too. So unless you're there, you're not going to get it. But by February or March, it'll just be
I know that.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with every system, but for whatever reason, I feel like people forget what happened 6 years previously, and it's like a new experience each time. But
Yeah.
it's the same thing every time.
Little Timmy wants that PlayStation under the tree this year.
Yep.
Yeah.
1,000, my guy.
Send me a Bitcoin.
Are you keeping any dead stock?
PlayStations? No, not at this point. In general, I do tend to do that. So like, we'll see if it ends up as anything. This one is more of a wild card hold of mine. But when the PSVR came out, I ended up grabbing 2 of those. One to keep sealed, just because it's such a unique product, so different. It ended up being very niche. It didn't really pick up or anything like this. And for future sealed collectibles, that could either be good or bad. It goes either way. People want something that was super in demand and no one thought about holding, and then the other stuff is it did so terribly that it's so rare and so sought after. So either way, there's still potential, but you usually don't see outcomes like that until years down the line. So as of right now, it's still on shelves. You can still get it. That hold has done nothing as of right now, but we'll see if that wild card hold actually does anything in the future. You never know. So.
Yeah, I also noticed that you collect special edition consoles. Like, do you go after certain ones, or if it's a special edition, you're copping it?
If it's a special edition with enough like notoriety, I'll grab it. And for the most part, basically, I hold for about 3 or 4 years, and it usually doubles, sometimes triples. It's not the biggest return, but it's returns nevertheless. And I've been doing that for a while now. I started doing that after being on eBay and realizing like some of the collector's editions I missed out on at retail. Once it was out of print, they start rising in value. And even more so, what I've realized is once the system is the older generation, that's when the real collectors go after it. So like now that we're in the PS5, within another year or so, I expect a lot of the PS4 collector's editions that I held to really start shooting up. I mean, a lot of them are higher than what I got them at years ago, but not by much. It takes that whole new generation, people reminiscing about the last generation, for it to really pick up. I definitely have. I probably have about 8 different collector's editions that are like PS4s, Switches, Wii U's, and stuff like this. And every few years, I unload like 1 or 2, usually stuff like that. So,
nice. Fran, you must have a warehouse.
It's there's too much stuff. There's too much stuff.
And listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you weren't able to get your hands on a PS5, a PlayStation 5, I know a guy that hosts a raffle
daily.
Jeez.
And you can hit him up on Instagram and you can enter a slot. Tell me about that, Fran. Tell him about that, Fran. So
I definitely need a better process of this, because it is a little time consuming just going through the different apps, checking payments and doing all this. But I even mentioned before this podcast was filming, I was like, you guys want to see the raffle a little bit earlier? And it got a pretty decent response. But after this, that's exactly what I'm going to be doing, is jumping onto the raffle, posting it. It takes about an hour or 2, mainly just because I'm manually inputting everything. It would be a lot quicker, say, with just a website click or something like that. So it's probably something at this point I should be doing. But anyways, this is the system I'm going with so far. And yeah, it's been good. And it's dope to see, most of the people that have been winning. I think everyone has won off of 1 ticket.
Yeah.
Shout out my guy, Young Corey. I saw he won.
Right. And so, that was an awesome example right there. It's the first person who's actually someone who's like, oh, I know who this is. And not just a random, but yeah, it's been cool. It's fun. Everyone's been enjoying it too. And it's just awesome. I started this idea with Pokemon booster boxes, basically as a way to get a little bit more than market value, because the margin on the Pokemon box, like, I'm collecting it because I enjoy it, but obviously, I'm trying to make a little bit of money off the Pokemon thing too, especially while it's popping. And so I felt this is the best way for me to maximize it, and then still someone's getting it at a come up. And it's so cool to see them like opening the packs, sharing it. even if it's not packs they bought for me, I definitely share people's pulls and stuff like that because it's just such a fun experience. Like that, I don't personally find that same fun in sneakers. I once did, and now I find that same joy out of these cards. And so it's awesome to see everyone, sharing it. And it's even cooler when it's, fathers sharing it with their kids. And sharing that experience and stuff, and to see pictures of like the kids holding this $2,000 Charizard that they just pulled out of a box they paid $20 for. It's a win for everyone. So,
one suggestion I have would be, I think somebody's okay. One suggestion I have is maybe switching it to like the roulette wheel.
Yeah.
So it's even more excitement. So you shuffle it up, you spin it, so everybody's watching instead of just the one click.
I'm definitely open to trying new ways of doing it because I do agree that it's like not as like suspenseful. But what I try to do is even like I'll click it a few times before I was like, this is not the raffle, and I'll click it a few times so people can see that it has different possibilities, and then I'll just click it. But I think the main reason, honestly, why I'm doing it this way is I'm already putting time into compiling the list and then another list. But yeah, I should definitely do that. I'm trying to speed it up a little bit, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Wow. So with the PS5 dropping, the guy that has his name in every single thing out there in America right now comes out with his own sneaker again. The PlayStation 5 Travis
crazy.
Scott Dunk.
His growth, like I used to go, I think this was in like 2014. I would go to his shows literally, I think like 6 shows a month. He would just do little shows with like 5,000, 10,000 people in little auditoriums. And they were just so much fun. Like it was so awesome. Like people going crazy and to see from that to every cereal boxes, PlayStation sneakers, McDonald's. I have the McDonald's bag with the receipt.
Yeah.
Up there next to some Bape toilet paper and Bape Coke bottles.
You pull up to the McDonald's like, you know what I'm here for.
I didn't, but I brought the doll with me. I had the doll in the passenger seat. I was ready, So, but yeah, it's so impressive to see.
Yeah.
Obviously, like his music is so good, but still, even with that, I don't think I didn't see it coming. That's for sure.
You didn't have the foresight on this one?
Did not have the foresight on this. It's so awesomely like mind blowing to see all of this, and it hasn't stopped. It hasn't slowed down. The Fortnite stuff.
Do you think it all credit to him or because he's associated with Kylie?
I think the Kylie thing helped 100%. 100%. I think it'd be a completely different scenario. And it is what it is. I'm not saying that's a good or bad thing, right? It is what it is, and it's awesome. You gotta call it what it is. It's an amazing thing to witness. The only thing that even I think compares would be like what's it called? Like Michael Jackson's like Pepsi collabs or commercials.
Oh yeah, back then.
McDonald's. There's not been anything like this in decades.
Right.
That I can think of, right?
Yeah.
Where a music artist has transcended like this. It's very awesome.
Because even though how popular Drake is, he's not like.
Nope, it's different.
He's not a trendsetter. That's what it is.
It's different.
Yeah.
It's very different. So it takes everything, right? It's being in the right place. It's having the right team. It was not easy to pull off any of this, obviously. But it's awesome to see, to watch it.
And for me, he's doing everything, that touches, our hearts, like dunks and SB, then Jordan 1, Jordan 6, Jordan 4. It's like, oh, you're me.
Yeah,
you're,
once you're in with like someone's emotion, you've won. You've won.
Yeah.
And these things are tied to people's emotions. So, very, very cool. Very cool.
And so, what do we think about that shoe, that PlayStation 5 Travis Scott Dunk?
Amazing. So sad that I won't be able to obtain it. Literally, the site went up at I think 4. And what time was it when it finally went on 10? I was refreshing the whole time. I was doing raffles and refreshing. Raffles and stuff like this, and I did not stop refreshing. I was trying to get it, and it's not going to happen. But
But did you get a chance to enter your info?
Yeah, I did my entry, but
You
that's
never know.
a needle in a haystack. That's a needle in a haystack.
kind of know. You kind of.
But and then everybody sees it says really big in red, not for resale.
Yeah, so you can't. They probably gonna have you sign something that you
They
can't
sign the documentation or have it numbered, and
That's gonna be resold. There's no.
if it ain't sold on the regular, it'll be on the black market. It's gonna get resold.
Whoever wins that, they're eating. Like, whew, that's gonna be crazy.
Oh man.
Yeah.
And now, what else do you think about? I want to know what you think about all these dunks, the resurgence of the dunks. Like they're releasing the ugly duckling pack, and the ceramic is the last one to drop, and that's this week. What do you think about the old dunk coming back?
Cool because those, I mean, if you're a sneakerhead, you know about those shoes, but still, to some extent, I feel like there's sneaker nerds that knew about those shoes to some extent.
Yeah.
And now they're known. You know, everyone collects sneakers or knows someone that collects sneakers at this point. So it's really bringing those shoes a whole new life cycle that they wouldn't have had, and it's awesome to see. Those are some of the coolest dunks that I've ever released. The ones that you listed off. So it's awesome, especially considering, you know, to some people this is their very first time even hearing about them. So yeah, it's very cool.
And then lastly on this show, we always talk about Supreme. Supreme dropped a vase, fishbowl. It's lackluster right now, little dwindling. Fran, your opinions on Supreme, or if you want to shout out any streetwear brand out there that might be doing something for the culture that's moving you or anyone that you know.
I think, and I said this a few years ago when I was still with the brand I was with. I was talking to them and I was like, what's it called? I feel like what we're witnessing with Supreme is like the beginning of Polo, basically. Like we saw Polo from the beginning with this. It's going to be so big, you know, 10, 20 years from now, it's going to be, it already is everywhere, but I mean storefronts. It'll be everywhere. You'll be able to get it wherever. And it's so another very cool thing to see just a skate shop from New York grow into this juggernaut that is unlike, it's not comparable to anything else in that industry. There's no streetwear that comes close to it, nor probably ever will. And although I'm not copping as heavy as I used to, still look at every release that morning. It's so exciting each time to see what do they got for this season.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it on that basically.
And lastly, we do a segment, Sneak of the Week. Sneak of the Week?
Sneak of the week.
Sneak of the Week. So here, Fran, we pick a sneaker that we'd like to purchase that's coming out this week, next week, within the next month. If you see any sneaker out there that you know of that you say, you know, I would purchase that, or I like that, you can give it. Yeah.
Pull up the calendar.
Yeah, let me see that.
The Nike counter.
Yeah.
I was sad on those Sakai's because, like I said, I've been hitting on everything, but I slept through that. I was like, damn, I might have got those if I was up. But, all right, let's see here. Okay.
Oh, now the Magma Oranges are finally coming out.
The concept is dropping.
Yeah.
That's probably gonna be a regular box.
Yeah,
definitely a regular box. Ooh, that might be a little bit too far down ahead, but I see my pick.
You got it?
Yeah, man. The Bruce Lee's, man.
Yeah.
When that shoe came out.
Yeah, talk about it.
So I had just started getting into Kobe's around the Kobe 4. The MLK Kobe 4 is my first Kobe. And man, that whole era, that was just like what it was like when I first got into SBs. The themes and the stories and all the colorways. Very, very, very cool sneaker. Unfortunately, my original pair, at some point, someone who I called a friend must have stolen them because they're gone. They're not in the collection. I never sold them or anything. Had the box, no sneaker. So so yeah, definitely I'd want to re-up with these when they release. So that'd be my pick right there.
It's a great pick. Bruce Lee Kobe 5 Pro Tro.
The alternatives look good too. The white one.
The alternate looks good.
Oh yeah.
It looks. What was it? The Del Sol, or what was it called? There's a colorway pretty much like that.
That all the players in the bubble were wearing, right? Majority of them, a lot of them had them on.
I don't really watch sports. I'm not sure. I don't know, but yeah, dope colorway.
Did you cop the 11s?
Yeah, I got lucky. Like I said, every shoe I've tried for like this month I've hit. So I tried and I hit on those. Luckily, so
The Jubilee 11s coming out, and my sneak of the week would be the ceramic dunk. Man, I'm excited and I can't wait.
Okay.
Tone.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not gonna hit it, so I'm gonna say ceramic.
Uh-huh.
Now, because I didn't get, you got this is gonna complete the pack for you, right?
Yes, this is it. I've been waiting for this week. I want to complete the pack, man.
Yeah, I haven't got none out the pack, so.
Trav.
Probably the ceramics for me too.
Ceramics.
Yeah.
I got some news for all the listeners. You guys heard me say before that in order to win a SB dunk nowadays, you basically got to be fucking a skate shop owner. I fucked the skate shop owner this week. I don't know how, but your boy hit on the CCS raffle for the Atmos SBs. So they'll be here next week.
Nice.
I got it. Let me show you guys real quick.
All right. Yeah, I don't know how it happened. Like I always say, enter those raffles. You never know what can happen.
Well, you remember he disappeared for a while and came back. He's talking about his knees was hurting him.
Yeah,
it might be true.
I did what I had to do.
Dope.
Yeah, I'm keeping those.
Remember when people used to do the customs? What was it? The chrome ball lows.
Yeah.
Draw on the elephant print. That's what.
Draw on. Now it's
That's
beautiful.
Too. That's
Nice.
That's real nice. Where you got them from out there?
Brooklyn Projects.
Okay. That's where you get all your SBs from?
Yeah. So.
Do they look out, or do you have to enter raffles?
I mean,
who is? Do you know who you're talking to?
I did this last week. Fran's plug, whatever he's offering.
Good luck with that one, brother. Oh my God! Listen, Foresight Fran, it's been a pleasure.
Yes,
for sure.
Thank you for sharing your time, your wisdom, your foresight, and all of your journeys with us today. Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for having me. I definitely want to come on. I know you guys had mentioned the cards in a previous episode, and I heard someone say I got lucky with the Pokemon cards, so I wanted to clarify.
Hey.
And there's a difference between luck and like
foresight.
Foresight.
So, I want to clarify on that one.
Round of applause for Franalations. Round of applause for Franalations coming on Ight Still Boom the podcast. Jay Yannick is signing off. Tone.
Whiteman. But later.
And Trav,
you nerds, peace.
And once again, Ight Still Boom the podcast, and I'm sure Sneak, if he was here, thanks you very much for joining us.
Appreciate
and sharing all this with us, man. It was a pleasure, man.
Thanks, Fran.
Thanks, man. All right, y'all. Boom.
Peace. 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 Peace.